This is an immense subject because there's so much great balance. There's so much things that only we know. But I'm going to relate that to the fiasco that was the Gayle King interview with basketball legend Lisa Leslie. In the discussion they had about basketball legend and thinker and Renaissance man Kobe Bryant. I think we all know now that it was a setup, and we all know that that Gayle King and CBS are culpable. So let's don't play that game of weighing who's the most culpable. They both are. But let's think though now about why. Okay, herein lies where the direction I want to go in. Why did they? When I say they, I mean Gayle King and CBS. Why did they do it? That's the question. That's the operative question. Why? Well, essentially, it's to besmirch the record and legacy of a great basketball player and a budding great creative and filmmaker and author and seminar giver. It's to diminish the importance of his work in this life. It was also classless insofar as the man just died. And even if he didn't just die, if it's been some time elapsed since then, it's just in bad taste and in low class to besmirch a man that can't speak up for himself. But what a lot of people on Black Twitter and on these various podcasts have been saying is it was a purposeful attack, a precision attack on black men. And I can see that. Even in studying Oprah's past. Now, you know, she came to the defense of her best. She, in the meantime, offered no condolences to Kobe's widow and his remaining children. But because she has fulfilled the American dream. However, I noticed even early on, there was always a low-grade shading of the black male on her show, in her interviews, and just in the way that she conducted business. There was always a damning by faint praise. There was always omission that I noticed. This time, though, it's sort of like the jig is up. The jig is up because now everyone has access to media, Theo the Thinker included. Everyone has that access that they can speak. They can be that voice for the voiceless. And when I say that, you can be the voice to your own self that has previously been voiceless. So people can't get away with saying flippant things, or people can't get away with omission or ignoring a whole segment of the population. You can't get away with that anymore. And I think Oprah and Gayle have learned their lesson here. Let's hope they have. And certainly they were attacked rather vociferously and voraciously. And it was probably done in a way that I wouldn't have done it. Nonetheless, it doesn't make what Snoop Dogg or Lil Boosie, it doesn't make what they said less valid. What they said was entirely valid, and they spoke up. One wishes that more of the black intelligentsia would speak up, as opposed to wanting to launch the army on Snoop Dogg and Boosie. But it's this nuance. This is the new frontier, folks. Something that we've had to live with for our entire lives. the balancing act, the tightrope walk, the eggshell tiptoeing that one must go through just to exist in this society. This has been this Gayle King thing has been very illustrative of the fact that Black people are not as dumb as you think. Gayle and Oprah got pushed back because we're not mindless. We're not a mindless monolith. The African American spreads a wide spectrum of consciousness. It spreads a wide spectrum of ideologies, feelings, sentiments. And Oprah and Gayle have had to learn this the hard way. One would have wished that in their 60s, they would have known this by now. You're over 60 years old. You've been on this earth, for in your 7th decade, and you don't realize that Black people have thoughts and feelings and aspirations. You don't know that there's been an immense injury done to an entire group of people. A smile cannot hide that pain. You notice in the media, they want to see Black people smiling all the time, to make people feel comfortable that everything's all right. Everything's not all right. But it can be addressed and it can be rectified. Things can be improved, but you have to admit that things are not right. Getting back to this Gayle King interview with Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie handled it with aplomb. She handled it in a very sober and even-tempered manner. She was able to expose the direction Gayle was going with the interview. She was undaunted. Lisa Leslie was undaunted, unfazed, and unaltered in her thoughts. And much praise goes out to Lisa Leslie, because she really spoke for the voiceless in the way that she carried herself in that interview. I won't go on and on. I'll have some future posts on things like this, but essentially it's that nuance. This is the next phase that people are going to have to understand, that we are a people that are replete with nuance, the gray shades, gradations, the delicate balances that we've learned to adapt to and adjust to and nimbly negotiate in this life. So kudos to Lisa Leslie. Condolences to the family of Kobe Bryant and all those people that lost their lives on that helicopter. And shame on Gayle and Oprah. Peace.